I feel like doing a show about college football during portal time is like being a doctor in the ER on New Year's Eve. Like you're just always ready for something to happen.
Okay.
He's Zach Blackerby. I'm Brad Law. This is Village Vice. And we're glad that you're tuned in today. This show is brought to you by mybookie.ag. They triple your deposit in the casino when you use
Insane.
promo code next round. Promo code next round, triple your deposit in the casino. Plus, they'll give you 50 free spins. So check that out. We know that our villagers love the casino at mybookie.ag. So if you haven't, hey, give it a spin. Literally, pun intended. Give it a spin. See what you think. Okay. So everybody's hitting refresh. Everybody wants to know who's in the portal, who's not in the portal, who's gone. Hey, Gage Keys is going back to Kansas.
So his caption was pretty funny. He posted a bunch of pictures of him in Kansas stuff, and he's like, "My bad, y'all. I was tripping." I think it's like legitimately funny. So
it's good. That's good. So good luck to Gage at Kansas. I saw a graphic that had Hank Brown going to Iowa. Is that a thing? Like I know on the On3 portal rankings page, they have him going to Iowa. It's not done, but like they're 100% crystal ball or whatever to Iowa. I don't know. Had you seen that? Is that news to you?
Wherever he goes, I'm pulling for him.
Understood.
Wherever he goes, I'm pulling for him. So I think he'd be solid at Iowa.
Let me give you. Cade McNamara is on the move again from Iowa, so Michigan to Iowa to somewhere else. So there's a spot there. Robbie Ashford's leaving South Carolina, so he's looking for a fourth place. So there's another move. I woke up this morning to a text that said, "What about Duke's quarterback, Malik Murphy?"
Yeah, that broke at like the middle of the night, I think. Like it was super, super late.
Since then, Zach, I've seen a couple of former Auburn players post on X about Murphy. Good size, 6'5", 230. Like a sophomore or redshirt freshman. Like he's a younger guy. He's got some years. Started at Texas, went to Duke. Had 2 3-interception games the back half of the season, but he had 6 3-touchdown games during the year, and most of those in ACC play. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on Malik Murphy from Duke?
I think he's a solid quarterback. I think he would be an upgrade. I don't think Auburn goes after him. That is my just knee-jerk, immediate reaction.
Is that because you think there's somebody else in mind? And we can play this however close we need to play it. But is that because you think they've got somebody else like squarely in mind, or because of the age? We talked yesterday about how you want to stack your quarterback room, and what kind of message do you send to your younger players? Does that come into play?
I think it would be silly to host the number one receiver in the portal, which they're doing tomorrow.
Yeah.
Eric Singleton, Georgia, the star receiver from Georgia Tech. He is fantastic. I think it would be silly to host him without being able to sit him down and saying, here's who would be throwing you the football. And there's a chance that that's the only time they could get him in.
Yeah.
But it's just such a waste if that's the case. Because, like, why would you come here if you don't know who your quarterback is going to be?
So, all right, with that in mind, why haven't we heard yet who that quarterback is? Because wouldn't it make sense? And I'm not pushing back on the truth of what you're saying. What I'm talking about is the optics of it. Wouldn't that would seem to be a selling point and something you would want public so that everybody can factor that into their decision?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's going to happen within the next few days. Okay. I don't think that would be crazy to say. If it doesn't happen in the next few days and you don't see Auburn like actively pursuing a Jackson Arnold or a Miller Moss, I think there could be a few assumptions. One of which, are they still playing? I don't think that's the case as far as like, are they going to be in the college football playoff? But I do think there are a few names that have been somewhat tied to Auburn who are still playing. But to me, I expect this to be done this time a week from now. That's just my guess. That's just my guess on this, Brad. I just got a feeling whenever the news breaks that, some quarterback enters the portal, I think it's going to be pretty clear of like what the path is.
Yeah. Well, and that makes sense to me. You want your portal. If you're one of the major players, it's like when you go to the grocery store and they've just put out their new selection of everything, and you go over there to the beef aisle or the beef section, you have your pick if you're one of the first there, if you want the best of the best. And then if you're late, if you're one of the last ones there, you just kind of have to take whatever is left. And I think Auburn was in that position in some places 2 years ago when you got here. And I don't think they're in that position now. So it makes sense to me that this would be sooner rather than later.
I mean, the folks that are in it, they know how competitive Auburn is about to be from an NIL point of view when it comes to getting a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's a saying that's escaping me, but like, a desperate man is willing to do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
And I don't know how Hugh Freeze doesn't feel a hint of desperation. And like when the Stanford quarterback news came out, as far as, Auburn being in a spot to probably land him, it's like, that's not a move that Hugh Freeze is willing to say, yes, this is my guy. I'm staking my career. On this. Ashton Daniels from Stanford. I think he's going to come here. I think he's going to be the backup. I think that was the plan. As soon as Hank entered the portal, I think that was the plan. But it's got to be a guy where it's like, okay, Hugh Freeze, who, it's been an interesting career, but it's been a solid career, and he wants to be remembered as his offensive guy, right? Because that's what he's been until a year ago, where everywhere he's been, they've been pretty solid when it comes to recruiting and when it comes to offensive production. And he doesn't want to go down like this. He's too competitive of a guy for him to go down like this. And so to me, they are going big game hunting, and they're going to do everything they can to get an elite quarterback. And I think when that elite quarterback enters the portal, everybody's going to say, there it is.
Yeah.
There it is. Auburn's got a shot at this guy.
I think it goes beyond desperation, and it goes to identity. Does Arnold Schwarzenegger ever go into a weight room and lift light weights? No, he lifts heavy because he's Arnold freaking Schwarzenegger. Maybe that's too old of a reference. Maybe 30 years ago, he never lifted never had a light day lift. But if you're Auburn and you're one of the top 15 winningest programs in the history of college football, and you're coming off the 4 or 5 year period that Auburn is coming off of, you recognize what you have to do. You have the war chest, you have the intangibles, you have the community fit, you have everything to offer. Everything to offer. And and you're ready to go and be serious about it. All right. I had a note on Malik Murphy, the Duke transfer.
Okay.
So Bleacher Report put out their top 50 quarterback rankings, like final post regular season quarterback ratings. Okay. And they had Murphy at 44. They had him at number 44 nationally. Do you know who they had at 43?
Who?
Peyton Thorne.
Interesting.
One spot above Malik Murphy.
Do you have that list in front of you?
I don't have it. The way they have it is not the most user-friendly.
I'd love to know who Peyton was ranked ahead of. That's all.
I got you. Okay. He was ranked ahead of
who are the next
Malik
few?
Williams from UNLV.
Okay.
He was ranked ahead of, interestingly, Texas A&M's freshman Marcel Reed was ranked 46th.
They said Peyton was better than Marcel?
They said he was better than Marcel Reed.
What a take.
3 spots better. They had Gio Lopez at South Alabama at 47, Tucker Gleason at Toledo at 48. I mean, you're getting a lot of...
They said Peyton was better than Marcel Reed?
Yeah. They had
What's the argument? What's the argument there?
I'll just read you the write-up, okay? For Reed, it said, Reed made waves when he rushed for 62 yards, 3 touchdowns, helped the Aggies win over LSU. With Connor Wegman in the transfer portal, he has a chance to be a breakout star in the SEC as the unquestioned starter. So that's their write-up for 46. Here's what they had for Peyton at 43. A 4-interception game in week 2 led to Thorne spending week 3 on the bench behind Hank Brown, but he returned to the starting role for the following game and went on to put together a solid individual season for a disappointing Auburn team. The Michigan State transfer improved his numbers across the board from his first season with the Tigers in 2023. Do you want to do the show? Was Peyton Thorne's 24 better than his 23?
Well, it definitely was.
Yeah. Correct.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Not that you'd know it listening to conversation throughout the year, but yes, his numbers were better. His stats were better.
Well, and that's what's so weird to talk about this offense is because the production was there. They just didn't score points, and which is the most important thing. But the yards were there. I mean, Auburn had two really respectable wide receivers that had solid seasons, especially with what Cam Coleman did over the last few games, and KLS getting so close to 1,000 yards, and Malcolm Simmons being productive, and Jarquez Hunter, what was he, second in rushing in the conference? And it's like, well, there's a lot of individual elements of this offense that were good, but you didn't score points, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
It doesn't matter because you didn't score enough points.
The team element of this is you win as a team, you lose as a team. Some of the individual elements are if your kicking game is 75% instead of 50%.
Sure. Yeah.
You win 2 to 3 more games.
Yeah, you score 10 points against Vandy instead of 7. But to me, I think that raises the question of how much of this was Thorne and how much of this is like, does a quarterback fix everything?
Right.
I don't know. You can make the argument both ways. I don't think it's going to hurt, of course, until you've got to go out and do it. But I'm not sold that was the total issue.
He, one of the other players that Thorne was ranked ahead of by Bleacher Report,
who?
Devin Dampier. But you wouldn't know he was ranked ahead of him given this write-up of Dampier, one of the most productive scrambling quarterbacks in the country, who was one of only 3 players to reach 1,000 yards rushing as a quarterback.
Is that who played in the opener?
31 total touchdowns, tops in the Mountain West.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, anyway, I thought that was interesting. I thought I'd bring that up and tie Malik Murphy to Peyton Thorne.
Marcel Reed being ranked behind Peyton Thorne is a choice. That is a choice.
It is interesting. As you start to read the write-ups, you go, I realize you don't want to make each one of these a page long and do a deep dive into the stats. This is supposed to be a quick scroll read type situation. But they say he's got a chance to be a breakout star next year as the unquestioned starter at Texas A&M.
All right. There you go. Yep, there you go. There you go. Do you want to be a rising star? Do you want to be an unquestioned starter? Go to Roback.com. Nothing will make you feel more like a rising star than look at Bradlaw right now. That Roback performance hoodie. Let me ask you, are you comfortable right now?
So comfortable.
I would ask, like, how handsome are you? But we all know the answer is super, super handsome.
Remarkably handsome.
Remarkably handsome Bradlaw with his Roback hoodie. They've got quarter zips that are super great. They've got collared shirts. They've got hats and pants and shorts. They've got everything. They've got everything. Check them out, Roback.com. It's a great one-stop shop to get a lot of Christmas stuff just marked off.
Yeah.
Just bang it out at Roback.com. Use promo code VICE20 for 20% off your order. That is at Roback.com. Promo code VICE20.
I like, by the way, so the camera is inverted. And so every time I go to point at the logo, I make the mistake of pointing over here because I'm looking at the screen. Yeah. I do it 100% of the time. Knowing good, like, just be where you are. Like, know that it's right there and point. But if you go back and watch shows, I do it every single time.
I do too. It's part of it.
Wow.
Part of the process.
That's like how, do you ever go in? I know, like at my church, they've got these double doors and one of them is always locked.
Got it.
And one's always open. And I reach for the one that's always locked 100% of the time. Why do we do that? Why does our brain not make a note? And
it's like, maybe this time it's unlocked. Like, no, it's not. No, it's not.
Like, instead of lefty loosey, righty tighty, left is locked. Left is locked. Just remember, nope, I'm going to grab the left one every time.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot. There we go.
What's your favorite Christmas movie?
I mean, I will stop and watch National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, whether it's just started or has 20 minutes left, every time.
Classic.
It's a Wonderful Life I watched all the way through for the first time ever last year.
I haven't watched that movie as an adult. I talked about this with my wife last night. We will watch that this Christmas season. I watched it as a kid, and I was like, it was kind of boring as a kid.
Black and white. Black and white movies when you're a kid, that's, you don't like those.
Sure. You apparently can watch it in color now.
Oh, why would you want to, though? I wouldn't want to watch it in color. No, it's like I don't want to watch Andy Griffith in color. I want to watch it in black and white,
Okay.
the way the good Lord intended.
Okay. I don't know if I agree with that, but that's fine.
Give you an underrated Christmas movie, Fred Claus.
Okay, that's been a minute since I've seen it, but okay. I'm cool with that.
Vince Vaughn, Kevin Spacey, Paul Giamatti, really good.
Do you like the Santa Claus series?
We watched the Santa Claus. Yeah, and to me, they get better every year. The original Santa Claus gets better with age, I think. That's a kid's favorite. That's one of my kids' favorites, so we watch them every year.
Yeah, my youngest loved them last year. She also loves Home Alone. We watched Home Alone probably 30 times last year. But yeah, I like the Santa Claus series for sure. For sure.
It's an underrated quotable Christmas movie.
Okay.
Those flames are really big, Dad. So
yeah. Elf is my all-time favorite. I think it always will be.
I think Elf is at the top of my overrated Christmas movie list.
That's becoming a normal take, and I don't like it.
It's fine. It's fine. I'll watch it once during the Christmas season, but probably no more than that.
Really?
Yeah.
That's like our default in December. If we don't know what to watch, we just put on Elf.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Chris, how do you feel about Christmas Story?
I don't like it.
Why? Boy, now I've not heard that take a bunch. I've heard it's okay, but I've not heard I don't like it.
The scene where he goes to see Santa in the mall.
Yeah.
And they're like kicking him down the slide, and just like the whole like image of Santa bullying a child. I remember watching that as a kid and being truly bothered by it. And I saw it as an adult a few years ago, and I'm like, I still don't like this movie. So
see, to me, that's just effective cinematography. That's what they're going for. They're trying to make, that's the kid's point of view. They're trying to make you unsettled, you know, because that's how he was.
I'm fine like going into a movie to feel unsettled.
Yeah.
Not a Christmas movie. That's not why I'm watching a Christmas movie, you know, to feel good.
Yeah.
To be glad it's the end of the year, a great time of this, great season.
How do you feel about like Christmas horror movies?
I don't know if I've ever seen one.
Okay. So
that
answers the question. Yeah, that's the thing. Sure.
Give me an example of one.
I don't know because I've never watched one myself because I won't go there. I won't go.
Oh, I'm interested.
No. I'm interested. So I saw one of these a long time ago, and it perhaps I shouldn't have watched it, but it was a Tales from the Dark Side, and it was a Christmas version where these two old people. Is there anybody? I wonder if there's even one person who knows about the Grither. The Grither. It was a Christmas setting for a Tales of the Dark Side short. And it's these kids, and they're at, I think, their grandparents' house, waiting on their parents to get home. And the granddad tells them, well, you can't say the Grither's name because his ears double in size and he'll come after you. And it's this made-up story, supposedly made up, but at the end, you find out that it wasn't made up after all.
Wow.
And that's about the only Christmas horror thing that I've ever seen or wanted to see.
I'm interested in it.
Yeah.
If folks want to drop some comments down below, we'll see. Yeah. We'll see. I mean, I think the Grinch is pretty creepy.
You think the Grinch is creepy? The regular one with Jim Carrey? Surely you're not. Of course, hey, Brad, no, he thinks a cartoon one is creepy. Come on.
Well, okay, I'm like going through like what other one would it be? Yeah, yes, with Jim Carrey, yes.
It's not, just to be clear, the original cartoon with Boris Karloff is not, you don't think that's creepy. It's the live action one is a little, I could totally see that.
Yeah, I mean, they did a good job with it, but yeah, it's a little. I was surprised how chill my kid was watching it for the first time last year, and she was just like, "Oh, it's the Grinch." I'm like, "That doesn't creep you out a little bit?" All right.
And there's more adult humor, like it's not super in your face, but there's a little more grown up.
Yeah, there's a few lines in there for sure.
Than I remembered.
We watched until we fell asleep. We turned on The Family Stone last night and fell asleep to that one.
Is that a Christmas movie?
It is. It's like a rom-com Christmas movie.
Never seen that one.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I turned on The Holiday a couple nights ago, made it through about 20 minutes.
I walked out and Leah was watching that one the other night, and I call that the the Rebound movie because it's just about rebounds. It's not about Christmas. It takes place at Christmas, so it is a Christmas movie. But I call it the Rebound movie, and she gets so mad. She's like, it's deeper. They fell in love. I'm like, maybe. But it is a rebound. It is a rebound.
It's one of Cameron Diaz's worst acting performances in a movie.
It's pretty bad, especially the scene with the dog where she's like making the weird faces at the dog. They should have cut that out. They should have cut that scene out.
Sure.
Nobody likes that.
Wow. Well, what are you going to do next? Come after Kirk Herbstreit? What are you, anti-dog?
Love dogs.
Okay.
It was just a little weird. It was a weird scene.
All right.
I love the dog in it. The dog did a great job. Cameron Diaz, I don't know. I'm agreeing with you.
The dog did a great job. I loved that that's where this show went.
We're still recording.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those moments where you go, yeah, we're doing a show.
Sorry, guys. I think that about does it for today's show. So sorry. So sorry. My heart just dropped. I forgot. So whenever we're done, we do these conversations all the time when we get done recording. And I thought we were done. I swear.
Hey, check out thebarnauburn.com. Is it still $1 for the first month? Are we still doing that?
Apparently it's ending at the end of the week. That's what Kyle said.
Oh, okay.
I feel like we've been saying that for weeks. So jump on it. $1. There's a portal mega thread that's worth $1 in and of itself. So go check that out.
Yeah, that alone is worth much more than that. So check it out, thebarnauburn.com. And thanks for subscribing too. Almost to 6,000 subscribers. Thanks for watching. Remember, until next time, everyone has vices. Make sure Village Vice is one of yours.